Let's take that A blues scale up one more position. So we did start out down here going. Then we went up here. Next, we'll go here. That's like a normal pattern. In my opinion, the root is on the 6th string, 5th fret. That's pretty cool, man. It's like a 5/8 AC. You might want to keep your index finger kind of not laying flat, but it shouldn't pop out way far. So you got your 5/8 AC. There's D. I guess you could keep your index finger planted on 2 strings. Then you got your D sharp. Then an E. E is at the 7th fret. So that 3 in the row, I always thought that was kind of fun, kind of like a playground. G, 5th fret, 4th string. Then A. That would be the complete scale, but we can easily get the next octave like this. That's your A, 7th fret, 4th string root. A, C, D, D sharp, E, G, A. And then you can throw a C, A on top of that. So we get a few new notes, a few higher notes when we creep up into this pattern. Let's see what happens if we try it with a metronome, maybe 50 beats a minute. Quarter notes. Here it comes. Can land on the root. Now let's go down. So the chord this is kind of built around is an A7. That's where you bar at the 5th fret with your index finger, bring in middle and ring. Middle's on C sharp on the 3rd string, 6th fret. Ring is on the E on the 5th string, 7th fret. I often ask my students, what is the most basic phrase you can think of using that scale? And I don't mean to be mysterious or frustrating to work with, but the answer, I don't want to stump anybody. All I want to hear is something like that would sound good. Or I'll say, what is the most basic bend you might do? And sometimes I'll get bending an A to an A sharp roughly is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the D bending up to an E. You can bend the 3rd string C, 5th fret, a little bit up. Kind of smear it over a little bit. So you can add that to the bend I'm looking for, the other bend I would pick would be, well, what do you think? Yeah, that's right. Second string, 8th fret. Bend that G up to an A. Then add the other. That's reasonably cool, I think. Wow. The other note I've always done is the first string, 8th fret C. You can bend it to a D. Now you've got a pretty good collection of notes. That C, you can also bend it up, of course, like a quarter step or a half step. Kind of has a hot sound. So that one has flexibility in the pitch. You can get different pitches and sound pretty good. Second string, G to A, I would try to be pretty precise with the whole step. The D here on the third string, 7th fret, that could bend up a half step. Or a whole step. And you can always bend way far, like check your tuning if you bend way far. So those are my top bends. You can do 5th string, 5th fret D up to an E or a D sharp. Or the C. It could bend. So really you can bend just about anything, but those are the most common. Bending a D, C, or G. Here's a low G. I love that one. And then eventually you can tie all these patterns together, like and it becomes one. So I don't really think of it as like, ooh, I'm in this pattern now. I think of the whole neck when I do this. So I don't just lock in on one pattern. But if you're just learning, maybe lock in on each pattern and then try to connect them. All right. Well, I've got students showing up here in a couple minutes, so I shall, I don't know, clean up my studio a little bit so it doesn't look so messy. But hope you're doing great, and keep working on that blues scale. It's really fun. It's a great, great scale. Thanks so much for checking out my videos.